today about the 6 P's of the marketing mix and how they're still relevant. And before I start, I just wanted to give you a quick overview of Manzor Marketing and my company. It's a newly established marketing company that focuses on the food, beverage and SME sectors. Myself, I've over 15 years experience in food marketing and have worked for companies such as Keepack, Unilever, Jacob Fruitfield. Our vision at Manzor Marketing is all about brands. We strive to discover what is unique, distinctive and unforgettable about your brands, and we call this your 10% difference. So moving on to today's presentation, before I start, I'd actually like to just ask how many people in their marketing process still use the 6 P's? If there's any hands, if they're still, great, there's one person there. And how many would use them in their digital planning? Okay, I'm not seeing another, same person. Well, interestingly enough, the 6 P's has been around a long time. It's been around since the 1960s. And it was developed by a gentleman called E.J. McCarthy. He originally just started with the 4 P's, product, price, place and promotion. However, today we've added 2 more P's to that, and they do come in all different varieties, but we are going to look at product, your price, your people, place, promotion, and finally putting a process into place to manage the 6 P's. So starting off with product and with marketing and branding. Obviously, your product and your service is the most important thing to you as a business. If you don't really know what your product is or what your benefits or unique selling points are to your customer, it's very difficult to have a single message to tell your consumers. And I suppose this again comes back to your USP and your 10% difference. So in order to have any good marketing campaign, you need to get that right first. Moving on to price, and price is one of the trickier P's. A lot of people can tend to undervalue their businesses, and it's very important to have a correct pricing strategy for your brand starting off. You need to consider, are you a low price brand looking for high volume, or are you maybe higher price looking for more premium offering? And also you need to look, when you're looking at pricing, you need to look at your margins and your profit and make sure that you have costed your products correctly so that you make enough margin. So that's very important. People, and people obviously is at the core of your brand or your product. Without people, you don't have consumers. A lady mentioned personas earlier. So in the traditional sense, we would have segmented target markets. However, this has kind of changed in the digital age, in that now people are creating personas for their brands. So what this means is they develop a persona, say they give the person a name, say call them James, a job, they're a tiler or a plumber, what are their hobbies, where do they go, what do they do. And this helps you with both your digital strategy and your general marketing strategy, because it can help you to know where to target your consumers. So for example, you can see, do they go on Facebook, do they go on Twitter, are they into Instagram? So that really helps you to hone in what they're doing. Also, online influencers and brand ambassadors, and I'd say James Kavanagh will probably touch on this later in his talk in Seminar 3. It's important for Twitter and Facebook to be getting these people involved with your brands. It not only helps engagement, but it would also help your followers and your exposure. And finally, the last section of people is your employees. So it's important that you have your employees engaged with your brand, your vision, your mission, that they are on the same journey with you, because also at the end of the day, they're also your brand ambassadors and are telling your brand story. Moving on to place, and I suppose a lot of us in the traditional sense, when we think of place, we think of where can we buy our product. This has changed a lot again with the digital age, because people can shop anywhere at any time. But for example, in the food and drink industry, when you think of place, you think of your restaurant, you think of your coffee shop, you think of your retail, your supermarket, where it's been sold. So in place, you really have to look at your availability, your distribution, in store, and then online how you can target consumers. For example, in food in particular, for restaurants, geo mapping using Google to be able to find your restaurant, and also maybe tying in with local businesses as well, so that can increase your exposure in your locality. So moving on then to promotion, and that's really what marketing, and when people think of marketing, they think of promotion. And again, in the traditional sense, we would have looked at advertising, trade, PR. Now the mix is larger because we obviously have online included in this. All of the P's that I've just spoken about are really important in actually helping you to develop your promotional plan. So you look at your people, where they're hanging out, what are they doing? You're looking at your price, where are you pitching? With your advertising, do you need to advertise in the Irish Independent, the Irish Times for, say, females that are doing their weekly shop? Or if you're a more online brand, do you advertise on Facebook, Twitter? So all of the P's have an influence in developing your actual promotional and marketing plan. And finally, the last P, which is one I love as a marketeer, is process, and actually having a really good process in place to put your marketing plan together. In Manzor Marketing, we have a 3-step process. It's marketing, management, and measurement. So marketing is your planning stage, which is literally going through your 6 Ps, your brand insights, knowing what your brand says and does, and having your plan together for your brand. Also setting your budget and a timeline for it. Management is the actual doing. So implementing the activity, making it happen, your events, your PR, etc. And then finally, I put in measurement there, because this is something that I'm a firm believer in. So this is at the start of your campaign, during and after actually, is measurement. Because how do you know if your campaign is working if you don't measure it? So setting clear goals and objectives at the start of the campaign. What are your sales targets? What's your awareness targets? Online, how many Facebook likes would you like? How many Twitter, etc. And then revisiting this on a weekly and a monthly basis. Because if you actually don't do this step, you don't know if it has worked or not. So I wanted to show you a little video. Actually, just 1 second now. To show you, to talk about a brand that I've seen recently that has really used all the 6 Ps for their brand and to bring it alive. So yeah, go to Facebook and that one. Perfect. That's fine. Great. So I hope that video, sorry about the sound there, but I hope that video kind of showed you how the 6Ps are brought alive. So I just did a little chart here and kind of looked at each P for the Joe Brothers. I'm not sure if people are aware of it. They have like 16,000 followers on Facebook, and they've like 100,000 views for their YouTube. Started off in a street van going around doing festivals and fairs, and they've now opened a bigger restaurant in Galway, and they've over 25 people working for them. So from a product perspective, they've got it spot on. They're authentic wood-fired pizzas. That's what they do. They're experts in it. Price, it's affordable quality. People, it's young, trendy, hip. You know, they have happy and friendly staff, and they're all about customer service. From a place perspective, they're a restaurant, but they also do takeout. They work with Just Eat, Deliveroo, outside catering. And also from promotion, a lot of their promotion has come from PR, but then that has spun into word of mouth. And really online, if you go and look on the Dough Bros on their Facebook page and on their online presence, it's just been phenomenal. And they've actually managed that in-house themselves because they had a clear and strategic plan. And finally, process. If you look at that video there, there's a consistent look and feel to their branding. You know, the staff have their black uniforms, they have the Joe Brother logo. Everything is consistent throughout their brand, and the regular updates on social media as well means they're managing their marketing activity. So just to wrap up, I suppose, and the 6P process. 6P process is far from dead. It's still alive and kicking. For me as a marketeer, it's been necessary in all the work I've done over the years, and I'm still using it on a daily basis. Very important to help you in creating your online brand identity and your through-the-line communication. And finally, it gives you brand consistency across all of your branding elements. So thank you very much for listening to me today. And I'd like to open the floor to any questions, and I'll be around later as well if anyone wants to catch up.